Welcome to the Love and Victory Show with Val, where we will bring you candid conversation. In each conversation, we will talk about real life ups and downs while tackling unresolved matters. We will also unmask issues and truly speak straightforward and candid about our needs and brokenness, while allowing ourselves to exhale so that we can become victorious. This is a place where you can be open to the possibilities of living life in abundance while gaining tools to become bold and complete. So let's get to it. We have amazing guests each week, and today is no exception. Join us as we change lives one conversation at a time. You know what to do. Now let's get to it. Well, all righty then. I think Leela was jamming. It was. I was enjoying it. I don't know about you guys. I enjoyed that. Did y'all enjoy? Did you hear any of it, Taylor? No, you didn't. You were out there talking. You didn't listen to none of the music. I heard it. Is that mine?
Still got music playing on the radio show.
No, it's just a little delay. It's not playing, babe. It's a delay. We good. We good.
Brother Carter.
We got this.
What'd you say? We gotta let us fly the plane.
Yeah.
No, I said I'm the pilot.
All righty, then. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get this second half of the show going. If you will, Brother Carter, can you do what you do and bring the ladies in?
Good morning, and good morning once more and again. Welcome to the Love and Victory Show with Val. I'm your main man, Brother Carter. I'm the co-pilot of this show.
Yeah, there you go.
Not the pilot. Amen. So we have some wonderful guests on the show today, and I know you're familiar with the one on one particularly, Mr. Justin B. Long there. Justin B. Long, good morning, sir. Okay, we don't hear Justin B. Long.
Justin. Do y'all have him muted?
Oh, you have me muted.
Yeah,
I've been shut down over here.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Justin B. Long, tell the people a little bit about yourself once more again.
All right, my name is Justin B. Long, and I am an author and a business owner and a grateful recurring guest on the Love and Victory Show. And I'm here to grow and hopefully share a little bit of what I've learned along the way with you guys.
All right. I like that grateful recurrent guest. All right.
How long you been around, Justin? You know, I really want to do that. How long you been
The
around?
beginning of time.
There you go. I just needed to hear you say that from the beginning of the times. And he's still hanging out. I think it must be okay, right?
That's right. It's okay for me anyway.
Yeah.
It's great for me. All right. Welcome, Justin.
And we also have in the studio today, we have Miss Tahlar Rowe in the show today. Good morning, Miss Tahlar Rowe.
Good morning.
How art thou?
Thou art great. Happy to be here. Happy to be with my family this morning.
All right. We're so happy to have you. You want to tell the people a little bit about yourself before we get the conversation started?
Well, let's see. It's Tahlar Rowe or Tahlar, as it's
Tahlar.
You know, I've never heard it said like that. It's so beautiful.
Well, fun fact, I found out that it was initially supposed to be Tahlar.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
But that's
So what do you go by?
Another day, Taylor.
Tahlar. That is beautiful. Why, you know, if my name was Tahlar,
Yeah.
trust me. Hello, I'm Tahlar.
Well, I recently just met a Tahlar.
Really?
And she often gets called Taylor, and I'm Taylor, and I often get called Tahlar. So that was really cool.
Wow.
Ah.
A mental health advocate professionally, community outreach specialist, the whole nine.
She out there doing great things.
Yes.
You are also a pilot of other people's lives.
Yes, she literally is.
That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful space to be in. So just take time for yourself also in the midst of it all. We also have on the show today someone we hadn't had in a long time on this show.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, she was with us from the beginning of time, you know.
Yes.
prior to even having the studio where we are today. You was with us with the old studio.
That's right. I'm so happy to be back.
Yes.
God.
This is Miss Rocky Pilgrim on the show today.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Miss Rocky.
Thank you. Thank
Welcome
you.
back for such a long time ago.
Mhm.
How are
Well,
you today?
I am doing fantastic.
Uh-huh.
I am so excited to be here. Like we were saying, there is never a time where I have been in y'all's space where I just did not feel at home
Mm.
and surrounded by people who I feel like even if I met them for the first time, I've known my whole life.
Wow. Well,
Right.
this is the Love and Victory Show. We embrace you. We love and encourage you to victory.
That's right. That's
Tell the
right.
people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
They already told them that you're an attorney already. So
Yes.
let's continue that.
Well, let's
Tell a little bit
them
about
what kind of
yourself.
law you practicing.
Well, I am primarily a family lawyer.
Mhm.
I am coming up on my 22nd year being licensed in the great state of Texas.
All right.
Mhm. Well
Mhm.
experienced, let me tell you.
And it makes
Mhm.
me feel old to say it out loud. But you know, we're all serving our people and we're all serving our community, and that's what we're here for, and that's why this is such a great space.
Yes.
Thank
you know,
you.
we're all doing the same work, just with different hats on.
All right.
I want to be able to just
Mhm.
kind of put a pin and a plug in for her. She walks, we have all the stories about attorneys, but she is one of good character and integrity. So if
Mhm.
you're looking for a good family attorney, I would definitely recommend her.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
All righty, it is time for the acronym, and we're going to get this conversation going.
Absolutely. So this week's acronym is
I
And
don't
that
see it
is
up.
the
What
voice
is
of Miss Aaron. over
and
there.
before we go to the acronym, the title of the show is
Don't
Grace.
try to steal my stuff.
Okay. Oh Lord, here we go fighting this morning. Okay, go ahead. Go
would
ahead.
you give me some grace, Brother Carter?
Sister.
All right. So this week's episode is Grace in Real Time.
Mhm,
And so, Bella, would you mind pulling up the acronym?
mhm.
Awesome. So this week's acronym is RESPECT. R is for reclaim, to rescue and restore form an undesirable state of a previous natural state. E is for empower, the promotion of self-actualization or influence of oneself or others. S is for seize, to take hold suddenly of an opportunity or initiative eagerly and decisively.
Mhm.
P is for persevere, persisting in a state, enterprise, or undertaking in spite of counter influences, opposition, or discouragement. E is for establish, to achieve permanent acceptance or recognition from introducing organization systems or a set of rules. C is for create, to make or bring into existence something new or out of nothing. T is for thrive, to progress toward or realization of a goal despite or because of circumstances. And that is our acronym for the week.
Actually, I really like that respect, and I love I think put that back up. I think what stood out to me the most is empower. I love the thing because when I empower myself or encourage someone to empower themselves or empower someone else that they're good, they can do this. I think we're helping people to a better place while helping ourselves.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All righty then. Well, we're going to get this conversation going. And the first thing I really want to throw out there, and again, we all know how this show goes, is we may throw a question out or make a statement, but it's not to just a yes or no. It's so that we can dig in and really have a conversation. So
Mhm.
anyone can take it.
So let me ask you something.
Oh, here you go. Co-pilot.
Yes.
Okay. There
What
you go.
what is grace in real time? What does that look like to you?
Since you put it right at me,
Yes.
I think
I'm putting right at you and Aaron because y'all come up with these topics and titles. I just want
I think grace
to see where the headspace is
Okay.
when you.
I think grace in real time for me looks like what it didn't look like before. Is not expecting people to be at this certain level, putting them at a higher standard than I even put myself. Grace in real
Mhm.
time is really just showing grace, showing some lack of compassion for, or not a lack, showing compassion for someone, and then understanding that we have times where we have what is it, ebbs and flows. You know, we're here some days and some days we're here. And so when a person is here, just show them a little grace. Yeah, that's what it looks like for me. I hope that did you like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Aaron, what's your take on it?
I think when it comes to grace in real time, it's more so the moment, I think, when you pause and you have a moment to respond differently. Like there are times where it's like we have the knee-jerk reaction and then we might like buckle back, right? But grace in real time is the identifiable moment where it's like, I'm going to respond like this or this. I'm either going to cut someone off or I'm just going to breathe and just let life be life.
Right. I'm real good. Now, me and Aaron know what we was talking about when we came up with this.
All right.
What about you, Brother Carter?
So let the grace begun.
Okay. All righty then. Let's get started. Okay. Let's think about this here. What is grace for, and what is the purpose of grace? And so I'm going to ask Rocky, what is grace, and what is the purpose of grace?
I think grace is, I think the purpose of it is to bring everybody forward, to be more positive, to be more forgiving. It's that element that we have, that pause, that compassion, that self-reflection that allows us to understand that we're all in the same world. We're experiencing the same things, but at different times. And if we can just extend a little bit of understanding instead of having just a knee-jerk response, then we can help make everybody's experience better so that when we need that grace, we have put that out into the world to help other people's bring it back to us.
Wow. I like that a lot. Anybody else want to take that same? Y'all, why y'all so quiet this morning? you leaning? Come on, I know you're ready. Where you at? What's going on?
I'm here. Actually, fun fact, I was super excited to see the title because grace is my favorite word, my favorite thing to think about. I just love the idea of grace, but I cannot not put it in spiritual.
No, I need you to. Yeah.
Okay. So when I think about grace, biblically, I think about it in two ways. I think the first thing is I look at the Lord's covering over us, like he extends his grace and his mercy over us because we are not deserving of anything that he's done for us or things that we have in this life. And so that is something that he freely gives to us out of his love and his desire to stay in relation with us. And then I think of grace as the ability to do things, and he gives us that through his spirit. So and then another part of grace is extending to others what we get so freely. And so who are we to go and ask for grace and mercy daily, but then
don't want
I
to
don't
extend
know how
it.
to turn around and extend it to you, or I don't allow his spirit to give me the ability to look beyond the negative, or, extend forgiveness and understanding. And so I think grace is a super powerful thing when you realize it. Nobody truly deserves it. It's like Aaron said, it's an intentional decision, oftentimes not even by your own mind. You're extending to others or to yourself, because I have to extend myself.
Yes. Yes.
I think when you think about it, it's one of the most beautiful things once you comprehend it that way, at least for me. And it's something that I truly am super grateful for.
All right, then. Okay, anyone?
I'm going to ask Aaron or Bella, could they Google grace and see what is grace?
All righty then. While
y'all doing that?
Justin, you want to come on with it? You got anything to add?
Sure. I think about all of the grace that I have received, and I have received so much grace from people. That I hated myself when I was younger, especially in my 20s, my early 30s. I had so much emotional trauma, and I rejected myself, and I self-medicated with alcohol. And I spent so much of my time drunk, running around trying to have sex with anybody that would give me 2 seconds so that I could feel okay about who I was, right? And there are people in my life today who knew me then and were a part of my life then, and they have allowed me to grow and stay a part of their lives, and they still love me through it all in a way that I couldn't do for myself for many years. And I think about the grudges that I hold against other people for small things, and then I think about what those people have extended grace to me, and like it's hard to it's hard to be arrogant when I think about the grace that people have extended me over the course of the last 20 years.
You know, it's funny you said that, Justin, because I was a person that was always feeling like the victim, you know, even not liking myself. Victim, I think victimizing comes from you feeling something negative about yourself. And so it was very easy for you to see yourself as less, or think people see you as less. And so once God kind of really helped once God got that gunk out of me, how it was easy for me to look at the other person and say, you know what? Yes, what they did may be wrong, but do you really know what's going on with them? Case in point, I had a situation happen the other day. Someone said they were going to do something, and then in the 11 o'clock hour, they didn't deliver. And so I instantly, and that's just how what you think that you're healed from something, or you beyond that. I went to this place of not wanting to give grace or getting caught up in what they didn't do. And I was reminded, are you always hitting the mark? And so why am I giving so much energy to that? When you don't always hit the mark either? Why am I giving so much energy to look at their negative thing versus saying, you know what, maybe it's something else going on with them is the reason they couldn't deliver. And I was able to move on.
Herein is grace, a picture of grace. Here's Jesus, right? Everybody read the Bible and know about the story of Jesus' crucifixion and being hung, bled on the cross. And here, there's a soldier that pierced him in the side, I believe, and pierced him in the side, made him bleed, make him suffer even more. And Jesus is there, and he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing." And so sometimes we encounter individuals in our lives that not necessarily want to really hurt us, but for some reason they can't help themselves because of their own
afflictions,
their own hurts and pains, and their own disappointment within themselves, jealousy, whatever the case may be. There are different elements out there that have people doing things to you that are not necessarily good. But here we are as individuals, this persecution is coming toward. Have to learn how to extend that same kind of grace that Jesus shown us in examples of forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. And he have many illustrations throughout the Bible showing us that we should be more patient, not repay the evil, what we was talking about earlier, not repaying evil for evil, but to overcome evil with good, and these things we have to lock in
and it's
to ourselves so we can be overcomers of.
It's one thing to say that,
exactly.
It's one thing to say that and please y'all jump in. This is not just Lawrence and Val show. It's one thing to say that. The difficult thing is to do it in the moment.
We're talking about grace in real time.
Right.
Yeah.
Real time.
So it's very difficult to do it. But when you lock in on really trying to move past that little girl, that little boy, that broken person, and you really can look at how far you've come, are you really going to let that action of someone else take you back? Or are you going to say, you know what, let me give them some grace, so maybe the next encounter won't sting as much, or somebody will show you grace?
Taylor, I have a question.
Sure.
Can I ask a question?
You sure can.
Does Is there a such thing as grace with limitations?
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's
Yes.
a good
I ask
question.
that because when we think about the idea of grace and
Mhm.
even the biblical understanding, it gives the idea of wiping the slate completely clean,
Mhm.
always overlooking, always turning the other cheek. But we know in real time,
Mhm.
we deal with a whole host of
Mhm.
different levels of grace extended. And like you said, to different people, where it might be intentional, unintentional,
Mhm.
or even connected to our own trauma that has nothing even to even do with the other person, but
Mhm.
still can be
That's
triggering.
good.
Mhm.
So is there something to say about grace with limitations, or can the two not go?
With limitations.
Well,
Come
oh,
on,
go
And
ahead,
Justin
let
jumped on that
Justin
one.
talk on
Justin,
that
yeah.
Yeah, I
ahead,
absolutely think you have to have boundaries for yourself,
Yes.
right? And when
Yes.
someone is continually hurting you, even if they don't intend to, you have to love them from a distance sometimes to protect
Mhm.
you. And I love visual aids with this kind of stuff. So my wife and I have a veterinary clinic, and I have a lot of crazy things that happen with that. But somebody brought in a dog one time that had been hit by a car, and we had to figure out where it was hurt. And so we've got to get that dog x-rayed and find that it has a broken leg. But that dog is in so much pain. When you touch the dog, it wants to bite you. It's trying to protect itself, right?
Mm.
We're trying to help the dog. It's trying to attack us out of self-defense. And I put that image on people all the time because people are injured emotionally and they lash out at everyone around them, even when we're trying to help.
Mhm.
And at some point, we have to sedate the dog, or we have to euthanize the dog. We have to find a way to get to a solution that works for the dog and for everybody else around the dog, right? And we have to do that with people too.
We have
It's
to
frowned
sedate
upon in society to euthanize people, but sometimes you still got to create some distance, right?
Yes.
You have to love them as much as you can without getting hurt. And
Mhm.
that's called boundaries. And that line is different for everybody in every situation.
I think that is so good you brought that point up, because the hardest thing sometimes for us to do is to still love and set boundaries, because you feel like when in boundaries, meaning sometimes you have to pull yourself away from, because that person could either be so broken, so hurt, or so sick
Yeah.
that it's really affecting you. And we have to be okay with that and not look like we're a bad, or feel like we're a bad person because we're choosing to step back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I would characterize what Taylor said just slightly differently. I
Go
don't
ahead.
think that it's grace with limitations.
Mhm.
I think it's grace with boundaries or grace within structure, because
Mhm.
I think that what I personally strive for is unlimited grace. But that does not mean that I let people walk all over me.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean I think that part of that was a recognition that the only behavior I can control is my own.
Mhm.
And once I realize it's not my responsibility out of hubris, or like I'm here to save the world, right? I'm not
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
That I don't need to try to manage other people's feelings. I don't
Mhm.
need to try to manage their behavior. And once I pull myself back from that, I can feel compassion for them. I can feel grace. I can extend that unlimited.
Mhm.
That does not mean that I do not have my boundaries, or that there's not still appropriate and inappropriate behaviors that I will permit in my life.
Mhm. I like that. That's real good. Go ahead, Taylor.
Well, I love exactly. Thank y'all for answering the question.
Yeah.
I like to, throw stuff out there. But one thing that I love about what you were saying and what everyone is saying, grace has allowed me to truly walk in healing with a lot of people. So, like, for example, I think about there's a lot of resentment and anger I can still have from my childhood. I literally can choose to still walk in that, carry
Right.
that, allow that to impede on my journey. But when I took a step back and looked at, well, if my parents didn't have the example and they didn't have the things that they needed as a child, how would they have truly known how to grow up and give those things to me? And so that allows me to literally extend an immeasurable amount of grace to now our relationships can be like almost like those things happen, but they were so minute because I'm like, well, you didn't know.
Mhm.
So if
Mhm.
you didn't know, how can I hold you accountable for the things you didn't know? And I know that that's not everyone's story,
Yeah.
and,
Mhm.
and that's in that depending on what happened,
Mhm.
that can look different. But I know that being able to extend grace at work and professionally, like in my personal life, has
Mhm.
really just allowed me to walk in so much healing
Mhm.
with people that maybe I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise had I
Yeah.
not.
Is it healing or freeing? Because I
Yeah.
think once you get to the place, and I love what everyone is saying,
Mhm.
once you get to the place that the boundaries are set, grace is given, and you really know whether or not, and whether or not
Mhm.
it's good for you to be in this circle with this person and how to connect with this person, isn't it much more freeing?
Mhm.
So that you're not sitting there in this space of guarded,
Yeah.
or judgmental. It's like, hey, it's not that they're a bad person,
Mhm.
not that you don't love them, but right now it's just not healthy for you to be in this everyday circle with this person. So I'm going to give myself grace.
Mhm.
And I'm going to
That
give
part.
myself grace,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then I'm going to extend that same grace to them too. So I think it starts with you and extending out versus feeling like you have to just go out and
Yeah,
forget about you.
Absolutely.
Were y'all able to pull that up?
Yes. So Google had 1,000,001 definitions.
Oh, my.
But I was able to find a few.
Okay, let's
few of them.
do a
I'll give you the-
biblical one, and let's do a not so
I got
biblical.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So we do have one. It says, in Christian belief, grace is the free and unmerited favor of God as manifested in the salvation of sinners and the bestowal of blessings.
Mhm.
And then this one, I think, is kind of get more to the grace that y'all are also talking about.
So you saying I wasn't biblical? No, just go
Oh,
ahead.
no. Like, well,
I'm
there's
just teasing.
I got 1,000,001 thoughts. We'll
No,
jump to me
Aaron, I'm
later.
just giving you a hard time.
But so this one right here, a period officially allowed for payment of a sum due or compliance with a law or condition. And this is the part I got right here, especially an extended period granted as a special favor. Because the idea of grace, well, there's two of them, right? There's like a covenantal kind of grace that like God has like with his people, but like people also have with their partners, right?
Right.
It's like you made a covenant, you made a promise to each other, right?
Mhm.
But it's also for a specific period because grace isn't like grace
Grace is not
pushes back
ongoing.
the consequence of the immediate in favor of allowing them for correction.
I like that. I actually like that because that's actually taking this conversation. Because how long do you give grace before you have to make a decision to stay in that person's actions continues to be that way?
Well, grace don't necessarily mean welcome you into my space neither.
Right.
Hello. Okay, come on, Bella. You have something?
So going off of that, grace with boundaries, I have a very good example of that within my life. So as you know, I don't talk to my dad, and there is that moment of grace where it's like he also didn't have the parents to show him how to be a good parent. And so I understand that there can be a time of healing for him where he can go through that and then come to us and be like, hey, I'm sorry. So for me, my grace is leaving that door open for him to walk through if he chooses to. It is on him to choose to walk through the door, and he hasn't. But my grace is leaving the door open.
Good.
If you want to
I'm here.
mend that relationship, you can, but you are sitting on the other side doing nothing to do it. And I don't have to extend myself through that if you're not going to choose to come to me. So,
And at the same
My
time,
grace.
I love that. And I think at the same time, you can't hold yourself hostage to his emotions and or lack thereof or intention with you. I like that. All righty then.
Well, let me put a plug in there real quick that because there's no manual for none of us to be this quote unquote good parent, so to speak. There are hundreds and thousands of good parents out there raise their children the proper way, and yet they still don't have it.
Yeah.
And so I think it all boils down to the individual of being willing, should I say, to want to be in the compound or come in that area where they can be a father or a mother or even a good child. You know, those individuals have to make their minds up whether they want to be in that space or not. And that's what it come down to. I call myself a good parent, but I know I've made millions of mistakes and still today making millions and millions of mistakes. You can say amen out there, children. If you
There's definitely a thing about being human. You don't have to be a perfect parent to be a good parent.
Yeah. That's real good. You know, when I think of Bella being so open and forthcoming about her relationship with her father, and the first time she talked about it, I can just see the healing that's happening with her. We tend to want to hide how those emotions or how we're feeling about that, and are cover it up with, you know,
which explodes at some point.
Yeah, you know, put lipstick on a pig, you know, because Sarah Palin. But that thing is still there festering underneath. And it starts with having a conversation like this. And that's the same thing with grace. So you're giving your father grace, and hopefully at some point, with boundaries, but hopefully at some point he'll open up that door so that you guys can kind of start working through that.
And but in the meantime and in between time, it's good that you're allowing yourself, giving yourself grace to allow him to go through his process to. So that's good. You're helping yourself by giving yourself grace in the midst of it all.
Okay. And we're all just out here doing life for the first time.
Yes.
Like,
We're just out here lifing and trying to figure it out.
I'm like, we're all literally out here doing life, whether we're blessed to be your mother's age or my age. We're all doing life for the first time. And I even joke with with my parents. I'm like, at my age, I was married with kids, trying to maintain the household. It's me and my cat.
Hey, this is a family show, girl.
Yes. Oh.
So I give grace because sometimes I'm like, man, if I was in their situation, or if I had to make the decision they had to make, would I have even chose right, or would I, so that allows me, because I'm like, we all just doing this for the first time.
And I like that. I like the fact that you said we're doing, because we are. You know, when you think about it that way, nobody really has it perfectly down. You know, so we're just, there's, like you said, there's no blueprint to this thing.
No.
Justin, what do you want to add to it? Come on, Justin.
Come on, I have so many thoughts on all this stuff.
Yeah, come on in.
One of the tools, I heard somebody say this on a podcast, and I've implemented it in my life, is that when I'm doing something that I don't know how to do, instead of being awkward and embarrassed about that, I just say right out loud, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is my first time.
There you go. Yes.
And people immediately bond with you because nobody knows what they're doing, right?
Yes.
Just like she said, we're all figuring this out on the fly. But I think that the power in what we're talking about here with her dad is that you keep living in that space, because so many people get locked down. Like, I'm going to put my life on hold and I'm not going to do anything until he comes around. And then your whole life goes by and he never comes around, and you've done nothing because you were waiting on someone else. And I think part of grace is allowing him the opportunity to do what he's going to do, but I'm going to keep living my life in the meantime and doing what I need to do to take care of me and go where I'm trying to go.
I don't think I've ever heard it. Justin, I'm sitting here and I wanted to jump through the screens and hug you, because that was such a place of where I was for a long time. And I've never been able to articulate that or even understand it until you just said it. I was sitting in a place for so long, waiting on others to do something. You get what I'm saying? And so I put my life on hold, hoping that they were going to change or they were going to see me and do. And I literally, once God freed me from that, once I let that go, it was almost like I could breathe. It was like I was breathing for the first time, and something that seems so simple was so hard to do because I didn't understand how to let that go. So you putting that in that, just articulating that like you just did was just, yes, that was exactly where I was. So yeah, thank you.
That's got to be a hard place to be, relying on someone else to make a change, to fulfill.
For you to feel better.
Yeah, to fill a void. That's
a horrible place to be.
It was, and literally, and I'm glad both of you are saying that was a very hard place to be. And a lot of that came from my parents were great parents. They were the best parents that God could have given me. Right. However, with that, if you want to be truthful and honest about that, there were things that were, one would call abuse, one would call neglect, one would call it a whole bunch of things that affected me as a child growing up, which unfortunately affected my young adult and then into my adulthood decisions and choices in life. I knew something was off. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't have the skill to be able to decipher and deal with it. The one thing that I did know is that I had to talk about it.
That's right.
And in talking about it, didn't always make other people feel good about it. And I didn't even understand what I was taught. I just knew I needed to get it out. So it made people uncomfortable. I'm so grateful. And I would tell this to anybody. I'm so grateful for the Love and Victory show, because God put us on a platform that we can't hide it, and it's so freeing and it feels so good. And I can tell you that I am in the best place I've ever been in my life. These last 5 years, God has done something so amazing.
New creature now.
It's literally like I'm floating through life and really enjoying it. So you got to start with a conversation. You got to start saying it, talking about those things that hurt, even if it makes other people uncomfortable, because making other people and making yourself uncomfortable leads to healing if it's done in the right way.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think this pulls.
Wow, Aaron. Oh, what did I do to deserve that? That's truth there.
You're just growing.
Oh.
We're just celebrating.
Yeah.
Well, and this pulls us back to what you were saying. Your favorite word out of the acronym was empower.
Yes.
Like,
wow, you remember it. Yeah.
You are empowering yourself to have a voice.
Yes.
And to be able to release it, because we were chatting earlier about how you keep everything in and you hold on to it. And Brother Carter's talking about how it's going to explode later. Well, I don't think everybody understands that when you hold on to these emotions and you're not processing them, they explode sometimes in the form of like an autoimmune disorder.
Yes,
like
literally.
Your health, everything circles around the ability to be authentic and to be able to speak safely and truthfully.
Yeah.
And I would definitely.
But also finding that, like you said, that right space, that right individual. You just can't unleash all your emotions on just anyone.
No.
You have to find that right person, someone that really want to understand you, somebody that really want to allow you to get it out.
Yes.
And if you're talking to someone that's not allowing you to feel, and they want to tell you, you ever talk to an old person and you tell the old person, man, I woke up this morning and you trying to tell them about how your back hurt, then they start telling you, my knee was slipped, they ain't heard nothing you said, because
they caught up on their
own stuff. And sometimes that's how life is when you're dealing with things in your life. You got to find the right person that allow you to speak to. That's why a lot of people that come on this show today, they talk about therapy a lot. People that are experienced, that being able to receive what you're saying. And we often that don't speak to therapists want to just put this out on everyday people that ain't ready for it.
Well, I think for me, when I think of that, I agree with you 100%. But it's so weird how God does everything.
Yeah.
God had me to put this out on a platform in front of everyone, and it's just continuously. He just has me opening up, and so I agree with you. You have to make sure when you're having these conversations in a safe place. But I can honestly say, for me, my safe place I found outside of Lawrence and God has been the Love and Victory show. And that sounds so crazy when you have hundreds and billions and trillions of people. But really,
I barely knew that. You barely even speak on this show.
Oh, I can't stand you. But you know, when you I feel so comfortable sharing with the Carter crew. And I think a lot of that comes from just literally being okay with me.
Yes.
I want to say this on top of that, though, is that when you are willing to be vulnerable in front of other people, it gives them permission to be vulnerable with you. And so many people who would never voluntarily let their stuff on the outside, when you open that door for them, they jump through it. And I see it all the time in my life. You know, I've got a book, The Righteous Rage of a 10-Year-Old Boy, which is the story of my childhood trauma and going through trauma therapy to recover from that, right? And I set up at festivals all over the place, and I have so many little old ladies that come up and look at my horse doctor books because they love horses, and their husbands will glance at the Righteous Rage book and not say anything. I'll talk to the wife about horse stuff, and we get done, and then the husband wants to talk about stuff that happened to him in 1950, and they never shared this stuff with anybody. Like people need to talk about this stuff, but they need permission to do it. So when you're willing to open that door and give people a chance to have a conversation that's deeper than surface level, you can really extend grace to other people and do them a service.
And that's go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I know a part of our subtitle, I think, to this show was I remember the word, if I'm correct, authenticity.
Yeah.
And I think
that
it's so important. And that was the big thing for me. I had to learn how to not stop trying to portray myself as being healed and extending superficial grace and actually like become that and do that.
Oh, I love
and that's what truly changed my entire world. And like you said, it's almost like new life.
Yes.
Because for a lot of times I wanted to be portrayed as the person who was gracious and kind of like you said, the good person, the understanding person. But in my head, I'm like, I'm giving you grace, but then I'm looking at you like this at the same time. Yes. And that was still miserable. And I think, you know, in this whole society now with social media and everything being out there, like you said, it's so easy to portray yourself to be something you're not and write a book and you know,
if I get another self-help book, exactly.
But when you become authenticity, you literally attract that, or like you're saying, Justin, people naturally, like even now people, oh my gosh, I can be at the grocery store and people will come up and share some of the most vulnerable things about themselves. And all I said was good morning, you know, excuse me, or, you know, it's something like that. And I'm like, man, it really does change your world when you stop trying to act as though you're this gracious person and you just become that. It really changes your world.
You don't have any idea what you're just saying. Yesterday, I was out shopping, moving around, and I was walking into the store. And this young man, and I literally saw him sitting there right by the door. And I looked over him, and instantaneously, he looked like my grandson. And so as I got closer to him, he said, ma'am, can I have a couple of dollars to get me something to eat? And I said to him, and I saw this young man, it could have been more than actually, I did ask him his age, and he was 19 years old. And so I said to him, I said, why are you? I see what you're doing. What are you? Are you hungry? Or are you trying to get some money to go do something? And he just looked at me. I'm hungry. I said, okay, I'm going to go into the store. If you're here, I said, I'll talk to you when I come out. So I go in the store and I'm doing what I needed to do. I'm shopping. And when I come back out, I didn't see him where he was at. He was standing on the opposite side. So he saw me. And he said, ma'am, I'm right here. And I said, okay. So he came over. I came over to him and we started talking. I said, the young man, you asked me. I said, first of all, what are you doing out here? And I said, look like you've been out all night long. How old are you? And he said, I just turned 19. I said, so looking at you, you've been out on the streets at 19. No, he said, I'm 18. That's what he said. Correction. He said, I said, have you graduated from school yet? No, ma'am, I quit. And I said, why are you on the street and why you quit? He says, well, I got caught up with, no, he said, well, I'm trying to find myself. I said, let me stop you. You got caught up with the wrong crew, and they encouraged you, or the circle was doing it and you started doing it too. Mm-hmm. And now it's taking control of your life. And he dropped his head. I said, don't put your head down, darling. I said, my life, my stories, and some of the people around me is no different than yours. Mm-hmm. It's your decision that you can make today to do something better. I said, I'm going to give you something to go get you something to eat. Now, if you take my money and you do something other than what you're saying you're going to do with it, that you're hungry, then that's going to be on you. You're going to curse your hand. Mm-hmm. I said, but I want you to take this. I'm not giving you a lot. I'm giving you just to go get you something to eat. Mm-hmm. But I want you to get off of these streets and change your circle. Can you go back home? This young man said to me, he said, I don't have a home. I said, what do you mean? He said, my mom wasn't at home. She had all kind of people that would come in and out of the home. And I learned to do drugs. I started doing drugs from the people that was coming into my home. And then she got put in jail. And then we were evicted, me and my brother. That's my brother over here. When I seen this young man, which was his brother, that was probably about 13 years old, younger. 14, yes, broke my heart. Yeah. And I'm saying all this to say, and I said, do you mind if I pray with you guys? Mm-hmm. And he said, please. And so I prayed with him, and I got through praying. And I'm sorry, this is getting long. He said, I don't know what to do. I can't keep doing this. He said, I numb myself, but I worry what's going to happen to my brother. We're always running from being put in jail. And I said to him, I said, oh.
You know, you one gift you have, that's a very unique gift you have, is a gift of compassion. Yeah. Most individuals will see someone and just here's the money, because they don't want to hear a lot of stories. They just want the money. And so most individuals, the average individual, would probably just give them the money and just go on about their business. Yeah. You have this heart. And you've always had this kind of heart, that you would go out and talk to people. Mm-hmm. That's a unique gift. It scares me sometimes that because she does that, you know. But that's what God did for you.
Yes, and the reason I don't want you guys to think I'm rambling, but after praying, he brought his brother over, and I talked to him, and I said, son, I said, I don't know. I can't bring you in. I don't know where you can go. I don't know what you can do, but here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you something so y'all can go eat, and I'm going to give you my phone number. Mm-hmm. And I don't do that. I don't know why God had me to do that. And I said, but I want you, even if it means, you're struggling, trying to figure out what you're going to do with you and your brother. I said, I know you don't want him to get caught up in the system. I said, but I know you would hate for him to get caught up and get hurt or someone robbed. I said, I want you to call and reach out to someone. I hate to say CPS, somebody. So I gave him my number. The young man called me, and I'm like, Lord, he said, ma'am, he said, I just want to tell you, thank you. My brother said to me, that's the first nice person that I've seen in a long time. I want to find home. I want to go home. And so I said, I'm just going to keep praying for you guys. I said, I'm here. I really want us, and we have this nonprofit, and I don't know why God's bringing me back to that. He called me. I don't know what phone he called for. I hope he calls back again. But I want someone to put in the comments, I don't know the different agencies out there that can help these young kids when they're in a situation like that. But I want someone to help me help them, because if he calls back again, I want to be able to give him a place.
Point him
in the right direction. So, I'm sorry.
God bless you.
I don't know why this came up. But
Grace.
It always hit
in
me.
real time.
Y'all take this. I don't know why God had me to share that story, but I tell you, you got to deal with it. When God have you run into someone and you see something and your heart is pulled on, don't be afraid. God's going to protect you. Don't walk away like that's not my problem. It is your problem, because if those kids end up doing something, and there is no telling what people will have them do so that they can just get a piece of bread. You understand? We got to show grace. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't show grace to this lady riding around in a scooter out there in the grocery store with nothing in a basket and asking for money.
I don't know what to do with my husband.
I did not extend grace.
Why, Lawrence? Why? What happened?
I would have given grace if she had something in the basket and couldn't pay for it. I would have just, okay. If you want to feed your children, I don't see your children nowhere around here, but you should have something in the basket.
So what did she do, Lawrence?
She started trying to pick up some things, and then she said, well, I don't want this. I kind of want some ribs or something. I said, look here, ma'am. I got to go. I can't sit in the store with you all. Okay. So Lord have mercy on me.
I don't know how. Y'all see, this is why Val and this is brother talking. Okay, Justin, jump in there. What are you gonna do to clean? Get this train back on the track.
I'm walking out the door with Lawrence. We're headed to the parking lot. I got to go.
I love y'all. Okay, it's time for comments. Let's go there, Aaron. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Definitely. So we have a few.
Before we get into them, can we just shout out Mrs. AP, who says, "Call me Monday. We'll work on it together."
Oh yeah,
there are resources out there.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Definitely.
All right. So first question, close to the top of the hour. He's taking a note from Mrs. Carter. He says, what comes into your mind when you first heard of the title of today's show?
Yes.
We had Mike Wills. He's asking, what did grace do to your life? Or what did grace do to your life and to you?
That's a question.
I'll let Rocky go there.
Gosh, it saves us.
What did it do to you personally?
It's allowed me to have a life, to not be trapped like we've talked about, and to not be trapped in the idea that I have to be perfect. I struggle with that a lot. Maybe that should have been my come clean.
Yeah.
That's good. It allows me to provide opportunities to other people to forgive themselves as well. Because like we've talked about here already, if you didn't have the examples in your life, if you didn't know better, if you weren't raised with the resources and you are just trying to survive, you don't even know there's another option. And so grace has allowed me to not live in anger, to not live in resentment, and to be able to help model that and to extend that to other people so that I can help tell them there is another option.
Yes.
You can have a good life. You can live a life of grace. So that's what it's done for me.
Wow. Real good.
Tahlar Rowe said it best. Tahlar Rowe said you can't just extend grace all the time. Sometimes you just have to be grace. You have to. That has to be a natural instinct, so to speak.
Characteristic.
Yeah. You know, you just because it just don't happen. Grace in real time. You know, you that just don't come if you don't have something already stored inside of you, should I say. So grace in real time is just to answer the first question that came up. It's just taking a deep breath sometime before reacting.
Yes.
And then say, woosah.
Okay, so
I'm not going to react this way.
Okay, so did you take a deep breath when you saw that woman on the scooter? And then you
I actually took a deep breath to take time out to even allow the lady to even express herself, because
That's right.
I'm looking at her on this wheelchair with nothing in the basket, and I already know she finna come try to ask me for some money because I look like I have money.
Yeah, you look like money. Yeah, okay.
I look like money. So,
okay. So you did take a deep breath.
So I did take time, and I was even willing to help.
But then you saw the hustle.
But I knew it was a hustle. When she picked up one thing and said, "Oh, I don't want that. I want some ribs instead of that," I'm like, you know what?
Then the boundary came up.
I gotta go. I got a mother-in-law and my sister-in-law that's waiting on me to bring them something to eat. I can't just sit around there. I'm not gonna walk around the store with you so you can fill your basket up. I've done that before.
Yeah.
I told this person, we're gonna get to it in a minute here. I told this person, "Oh, don't worry about breakfast. I got it for you today." You know what this pancakes, sausage, you know you come here and just get a taco. But since I extended my hand, trying to be kind and good and generous, it's can I say heifer?
You can say whatever you want.
This heifer ordered everything, and that's what I get. So sometimes I'm learning how to keep my mouth closed.
But keep your heart open while you keep your mouth closed. Okay. All right, Aaron, you want to go ahead and give us some we had any more in there? Any more comments?
So we got 2 more questions.
Okay, sure.
Abraham James, he asks, how much does the grace of others mean to you?
Oh, jump on that.
That's life changing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be who I am, where I am, have what I have if it hadn't, like, JB said, the grace of others, because I know I've missed the mark. I know I've fallen short. I know I've tried to act like I knew stuff that I didn't.
Amen.
And every time I've gotten caught, the grace that people extended towards me was life changing. And it made me learn how to extend more grace towards myself, which then turned into self-compassion, self-love, confidence. Like, it just became a ripple effect.
Yes,
But it started with people extending that towards me to make me feel like it was okay to even give it to myself, which then I started to give to myself and makes it more natural to return and give back to
because
others.
you see something through a different set of eyes, your lens, because you know what that feels like and what that felt like for you. So when you see that person on the other side, you see them differently. Yeah. Okay, then.
Next.
All right. Our last question we have from Herman Lane. How did you embrace your shortcomings?
Well,
I got a little bit on that one.
Go ahead. Jump on. Go ahead.
I think because I've judged myself so harshly on my shortcomings, and I created my lack of self-value on my shortcomings, and I had to learn that the mistakes I make are not my identity. Those are just experiences that help me grow, right? And when I managed to flip that around and learn to lean on those mistakes as a growth opportunity and a rung in my ladder rather than a weight that's holding me down, that changed my whole perspective on everything about who I am. And so I think shortcomings are growth opportunities for me now, that it's almost an automatic thing. But it took me 40 years to get to that mindset and to change my belief system about it. But shortcomings are awesome. If I didn't have any shortcomings, I wouldn't have anything to do. I think life would have no purpose for me.
I think we're so in line this morning, Justin. It's almost like we kind of talked about what we're going to talk about today because it's just, you're just saying the things that are so in sync with where I am today. So
Justin always on point.
Yeah, that is just when you really look at, to some people, it's looking at the ugliness of what life, or you feel life has dealt you. It's really the strength of who you've become. So all of that ugliness and the disappointments and the shortcomings, if we use those, are really have helped to create this amazing, beautiful person that you are today.
That's right.
Sometime at the end of the day, embracing your shortcomings means just accepting that you do have the shortcomings. And sometimes once you can embrace it, once you accept it, once you acknowledge it, you see the shortcoming, you see where I'm falling short at, and if this is an area you're not willing to improve in, then this is an area then you need to accept as a part of who you are. And once you can do that, then I can say you're embracing the shortcoming.
right, brother.
Because I'm embrace a whole lot of shortcomings of mine. Just accepting the fact that I'm not all of that in the bag of chips.
Well,
And so, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. But I yeah.
You know, you got some issues.
Yeah,
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. If you want to grow, tune in. We love you. Until next time.
Before you leave.
Oh, there you go. He always want to do this.
Yeah, well, you always want to thank that there's hundreds of millions of people that tune into this show every Saturday.
Yes.
So the hundreds and millions and billions of you that are viewing the show today, tell 100 million and billions of people to tune in.
Yes.
Share the news with someone outside yourself. God bless you.
And we love you. And until next Saturday, we see you. We're out of here. Bye, JB. Y'all. We love you.